Welcome to the Maine Basketball Rankings podcast. I am your host, basketball data nerd Lucas McNally, and today on the show we are doing the wins draft. We did this last year. Myself, Tyler Krusz, Mike Mandell, Adam Robinson, all either current or former media folk, got together. We drafted a team based solely on who we thought would win the most games. A couple categories: boys, girls, Aroostook County, and last year missed the playoffs. This was very popular last year, so we had to do it again. So today's episode is brought to you by Vertical Raise, one of the largest fundraising platforms in the country, now proudly helping teams, clubs, and programs across Maine. With Vertical Raise, your program can raise more money in less time. No selling, no collecting, just results. From new uniforms and better equipment to tournament trips and every fundraising need in between, Vertical Raise has a variety of campaigns to make it happen. Your Maine reps, Christie and DChase, are both coaches who know what it takes to run a great program for any sport, club, or grade level, and they understand how important fundraising is to making it happen. Schedule a call or email today and see how Vertical Raise can take your fundraising to the next level. Okay, so before we get to the wins draft, real quick on some preseason stuff. I went to the South Portland Tip-Off Classic. I think that's what they call it. Really good tip-off tournament. Kevin Millington, South Portland's boys coach, does a great job of getting a lineup of teams that you really want to see. There's not really, you don't want to say there's no duds in there because nobody's a dud, but it's generally it's a list of teams that you would expect to contend or be in the mix or be in the top 4 or 5 or whatever of their region. So in theory, you should get a bunch of good games. So just a couple quick takeaways. I saw Madawaska and Spruce, which was an interesting game. Madawaska can travel, man. Holy crap. They had a lot of people there for a 5.5-hour drive for a preseason game. It was very impressive. Saw Quinn Pelletier. He looked a little passive in the first half and then turned it on in the second half. Playing Spruce, I talked to Scott Bessie, Spruce's coach, after the game, and he's like, it's like 3 of our guys were in a state championship game like a week ago. So it was their first game. Hard to make anything of that. So, and, they talk about, you always hear, I would always hear, the football guys, it takes them a while to get going. And then, but not covering football in the past, I didn't realize how short the turnaround is. And so especially if you're in one of those state championship games, like, geez, you're probably still limping from whatever last hit you had on the football field. So the turnaround for even this, which is before the season starts, is, how many practices have these guys had? Like, they're not anywhere near basketball shape. They're in football shape, whereas if you're a soccer guy, it's a lot more cardio for soccer. Anyway. So Madawaska beats Spruce. They pull away in the second half. But you can't really, I don't think you can make anything of that for Spruce. I think they'll be fine this year. Kai Dower looked really good in stretches. And Madawaska's got a kid number 1. There were no rosters, who was lights out from 3, and he was just killing them. So then I saw Wyndham, Edward Little. I think first play of the game, AJ Moody for Wyndham took a charge. I'm like, all right, we're back. Basketball is back. That was a pretty good game. Wyndham pulled away late. Tyree James was awesome. Then Madomic threw their press at Falmouth, and Falmouth just didn't know what to do with it. They've lost a lot. They're way down this year. But from talking to people that won't be down for very long, I know you're very shocked. I was shocked. It was a good thing I was sitting on a bleacher when I heard that Falmouth will not be down for long. Sounds like maybe their JV team is really good. There's like a lot of talent in that pipeline. I know. I hope you didn't drive off into the ditch learning that there's talent in the Falmouth pipeline and that their down is not that down. But either way, they had a lot of trouble with Madomic's press. Mason Wen played very well. Owen Dostie played well. The kid they got over from Camden, whose name I've yet to learn, hit a couple threes. And we have to do a correction because on this podcast, unlike other media outlets, we correct the record when we get it wrong. So in either this podcast that you're about to hear or it would have been in the preseason one because no one would have corrected me if they hadn't heard it in the boys preseason one. I said that Connor Kingsbury from Oceanside had transferred to Madomic, which was true I saw him in person myself at Coney League this summer, but he has transferred back to Oceanside. So he went over to Madomic and then went back to Oceanside. It's a lot of moving around in that rivalry. I don't know. I have questions. It's like getting traded from the Red Sox to the Yankees and then going back, and it's, that doesn't happen very often. Jackson K, though, did transfer from Oceanside to Coney and is still at Coney. He was in the game I saw. So anyway, Madomic handled Falmouth pretty handily. And then Camden and Portland. Camden got Nolan Ames got into foul trouble in the first half, had to sit like 8 minutes of the first half, and you're not going to believe this. There's a lot of hot takes for this podcast so far, but Camden is not as good when Nolan Ames is on the bench for long stretches. I know. Bold things. He came back in the second half. They're down 15 to Portland, and he just took over the game. He had 25 points in the second half. I was shooting some video on the sideline, and I was talking to the Camden photographer, whose name I can't remember, and apologies. And I was like, what I really could use is a Nolan Ames dunk, like a good video of a Nolan Ames dunk to go on social. And then 2 plays later, Nolan Ames dunk. Let's play it. Let's do it. Let's just play it. All right, so they came all the way back down 15. Like I said, 25 in the second half. 25 is 32, and he's just everywhere. And everyone I've talked to thinks he's the front runner for Mr. Basketball. So that'll make the Mr. Basketball draft that we're doing a little interesting. At least the battle for whoever gets the first pick will be really interesting. They came back. Let's see they were down 15. They ended up winning by 6 or 7. And then after I left, they beat Wyndham at the buzzer, where Nolan Ames found one of his teammates, I think number 21. Cue the correction from someone from Camden in my inbox for the game winner at the buzzer. But so Camden looks good, provided Nolan Ames is on the floor. Wyndham looks good. Madomic looks good. I don't know what you can make of Spruce. I think they'll be fine. And Madawaska looks good. And there's a lot of people going, hey, what class is Madawaska in? And me going, I don't remember. So we're at that stage of things. And then I hung around for like the first half of Coney and Portland because I want to see the Braithwaite kid, who's maybe the top freshman. He's the freshman that gets named the most other than Pelletier. It was good. He was impressive. He can pass. The passing was way better than I thought it was going to be. So that was interesting. And, it's coach's kid. So I don't know why I'm surprised that he can pass. But yeah, the passing he had a couple no look over the shoulder assists that were pretty. Yes, those are my takeaways from South Portland. Next year, definitely go to this tournament because it's a good way. I was there for like 5 hours and I saw like 9-10 teams, something like that. And and they're all good. So, you're not going to get North Haven in there, but because North Haven, the news here is that North Haven will not have a team this year for the boys. And I think part of what makes the new alignment so smart is that before we were worrying about the top half of it, but by sequestering off the under 100s, you just don't know which of them are going to have a team season to season. Like North Haven's a perfect example. They've only got like 40 kids in that school or something, maybe less than that. So they won't have a team. And so people are scrambling for their schedules, but it doesn't, cascade all the way down through the classifications if in the way it did when, Massapequa didn't get a girls team together. So I think that's going to do it. Let's go to the wins draft. If you haven't yet subscribed, liked it, whatever you do on your platform of choice, however you're watching this, make sure you do that because it helps. I'm trying to get the YouTube account to 1,000 subscribers because at 1,000 subscribers, I get a cut of the ads they run, and we can take money away from Google, and screw Google because they suck. So let's go. Make sure you like it on YouTube. That's the whole point of that. All right, so basketball's back. We're going to go to the wins draft. Adam Robinson, who's, spoiler alert, didn't show up. Tyler Krusz from formerly of Fox Bangor, currently works at Ellsworth and is on the Big Jab, Morning Jab on the radio, and Mike Mandell from Varsity Maine. So let's go to that. Okay, we're here for the 25-26 wins draft. Mike Mandell is here from Varsity Maine. Tyler Krusz is here from Ellsworth High School, formerly of Fox Bangor. And Adam Robinson is not here because he realized, what, Tyler, like 10 o'clock last night that he had a game today.
Yeah, worst coach ever. Had no idea he had a scrimmage. How do you at practice telling your guys see you tomorrow, and then actually it's like, oh, guys, we have a scrimmage.
Oh, by the way, it's a game. The playoffs are tomorrow. I hope we're ready. All right, so we did this last year, the wins draft. It was I think it's 90 episodes of this podcast. This is the third most popular episode. So obviously we had to do it again. And with Adam not here, what we're going to do is we're going to draft for him. And so I thought initially what we should do, and Mike, you suggested similarly, is we should just screw him over. But then I thought we're sort of then just making fun of teams for being bad like all year. So I think what we do is we do an okay job for him and not an amazing job.
I think we can keep it honest. Yeah, I think I don't know if I'm going to do an amazing job. Mike and I came in last, so like we should just have me and Mike alternate picking for Adam and like be real about it, and we could be fine.
There's also that element. I think it's harder this year because missed the playoffs. I had like 4 good ideas last year for missed the playoffs, and I just finally found a team 4 minutes ago. So I think it could be rough.
Yeah, I'm on the same page here, and the MPA website's different this time.
Yeah, it's much different.
I have one pick for that I think you guys aren't going to pick, but if you do, I'm kind of screwed. So I might be frantically Googling some stuff. So we'll see.
All right, so let's put up last year's, because we're adding this year a keeper pick, where everybody gets to keep one team from last year. So there's last year's picks. Mike, why don't you go first? Who are you keeping from last year?
No brainer, Valley Girls. They're going undefeated again.
Yeah, okay, that seems like the easiest pick in the draft right there. Tyler, who are you keeping from last year?
I think I'm going to have to keep it local. I think I'm going to have to stay with Ellsworth. I know Class B is a little bit tougher, but I don't know. I'm stuck between them and the Bangor Christian boys, and I think I just have to. I think I'm an Ellsworth employee now. That's my team now, so I got to go with them.
You're almost obligated to take Ellsworth at least somewhere in this draft.
It's kind of like Adam last year with his St. Dom's. Like he took both St. Dom's boys and girls because he had to.
Yeah, and they can't have worse injury luck than last year.
Yeah.
No, I mean I think they had more crutches and boots on the sideline last year than they did active players.
Yeah.
Because if you get 2 crutches, each crutch up, I might be onto something.
They had that thing in like the last game of the season where they just like passed the ball to all the injured players who couldn't play in the game, and it was basically their starting lineup.
That was great. That was actually great to see.
Poor Andy.
It was a really cool, a really cool gesture, but it was basically, it was when you look at it from the surface level, it's like, how are all of these starters hurt?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was them and Southern Aroostook had the insane bad luck of injuries last year. Okay, so for Adam, we could go, I think we got a couple options here. We could go Oxford Hills girls. We could, if we wanted to screw him, we could go the St. Dom's boys. That could be his keeper.
Yeah, they're not even a team.
Right, they don't even have a team.
I think.
But that seems mean. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna try to do the best for him on this one. I think that Katahdin boys team is gonna be pretty good. I think they're gonna win. I think them and the Valley boys are gonna meet in the Class D state final.
Okay,
there's your prediction.
There you go. And that was a pick last year where we all went
Class S. Sorry,
Class S, where we went really Katahdin. Okay,
yeah,
all right. And then I have some good choices here, but I feel like similar to Tyler, I kind of have to go with the Madomic boys. DePatsy's just going to reload, and they're in the preseason poll. Will have already come out by now. They were the favorites in B South, and then there's a little bit of if you don't take them, you're never going to hear the end of it.
Yeah, they should be a solid team. Maybe not 20 wins, but I could see high teens.
Yeah, 20-0, no, but I could see 16-2, 14-4, somewhere in there, regional final run. Your, your second tier Madomic boys season.
Yeah.
I think since even though the classifications all change, they'll still have a pretty favorable schedule just based on conference.
Mm-hmm. They do have Coney, and I think they play Gardner this year, and Greater Gloucester, and some pieces like that. But yeah, they should be okay. All right, so we're gonna go in snake draft here. So Mike, I think you are up first.
Well, since Lucas, if you are conceding the Valley boys, then I'm taking them.
Yeah. See, I was worried about that. So you've got both the Valley teams now.
Yeah. I just think I don't know, maybe that sounds easy, but they're both loaded and they have favorable schedules, and I think they both win gold balls this year.
Yeah, if I wasn't gonna take Madomic, I think I would have taken the Valley boys. Are Harry Lewis and Tewksbury, are they gonna get to 2,000 points?
I don't know. It's going to be close, but there's a kid for Forest Hills who's probably going to hit 1,000 as a sophomore this year.
Is it the Desjardins, the next
Jackson.
Desjardins kid?
So be watching for him in 2 years.
So I have a Forest Hills jersey on because they were selling them online for some reason to raise money for something, and I was like, "Hey, can I get one of those and wear it on a podcast?" They're like, "Sure." So when Mike,
he's around 700 points, so he needs I think to do it as a sophomore, if you give him 18 games plus 1 or 2 tournament games, he needs 15 a game, and he averaged 22 last year. So, do the math.
Yeah, and it's based on the last name alone. You're like, well, that's good for 20 points all by itself. Yeah. All right, Tyler, you're up.
All right, so I'm gonna stay with that keeper pick that I didn't get and go with the Bangor Christian boys. I think Rajon Reed, getting a year older, I think he's going to be very good. And we will, again, keep it local, keep it in the north. And I think that's going to be a team that really competes well in Class D with Rajon and Jesse, and new head coach too, Coach Reed taking over there. I think they have a really good chance in Class D.
All right, so you have the Ellsworth girls and the Bangor Christian boys. Okay,
Correct.
So now we come to Adam. Tyler, you want to take this pick for Adam?
Oh, St. Dom's? No, I can't do that.
Well, let me make a suggestion. Do we just give him Edward Little Boys?
I think so. I think that would be his first pick, because St. Dom's was his first pick last year.
Yeah,
and that's fine because they're gonna win a bunch of games. I think.
Yeah.
I think most of the coaches I've emailed in my preview think they're one of the best teams in A North behind Camden Hills. So.
And they've got that now championship pedigree on the bench that Adam brings over from St. Dom's.
That is true. They do have a ring on the bench.
So there is that. It's hard to ignore that.
That's a good point you make. I blanked on Camden Hills, but I do want to say that I think Nolan Ames is going to be absolutely run the table in Class A this year as an individual.
Oh, yeah. He's going to have a huge year. All right. So now I have 2 picks, which is good because oh, boy. Okay. I'm going to take the Camden boys. Because we'll hear a lot about it if I don't, including from Nolan Ames' father. So there's that. They've got the best player in the state, probably. They are I think everyone thinks they're the favorites in A North, which is a little easier than A South, I think. And I think they play a similar-ish schedule to Madomic, so they'll have some of those same teams, and they'll just be fun to watch.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a pick that as soon as Bangor Christian left my mouth, no knock to them, I was like, I completely blanked on. I am the president of the Nolan Ames fan club, so I did have kind of an obligation there. So that's on me.
Yeah. I think he might be the first pick in the Mr. Basketball draft that we're doing next week, maybe. Okay, so I have another pick. Okay, I didn't write any of this down. I should have written this down. I think I'm going to go with the Lawrence girls. The Maddie Provost Revenge Tour. Knocked out. She has the gold ball from her freshman year, but the last 2 years have been knocked out early, and I just can't fathom how mad she is about that and how much she is going to destroy teams in B North.
Yeah, and Lawrence moving down to B North is huge for them. They're going to have that is probably, if you ask me, what team has the best preseason chance at winning a gold ball, I'd probably give you the Lawrence girls.
Yeah. Yeah, outside of Valley, probably. I think that's the safest play. All right, so now we have Adam again. Who wants to take this next Adam pick?
What would Adam do?
He would have
Would he
heard
pick the Edward
something.
Little girls? Should we just give him all Auburn Lewiston teams?
We could give him a bunch of Auburn Lewiston teams. Let's see. He would. I think he would take. This is off the wall. I think he'd take an Aroostook County team to get the Aroostook County pick out of the way. What if we give him one of the Southern Aroostook teams? And then I don't know.
I give him the girls. Yep.
Give him the Southern Aroostook girls in a bounce back season.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All
Let's
right.
lock that in.
In Aroostook County, he's got the Southern Aroostook girls. All right. Tyler, you're up.
So we each have two boys picks, two girls picks, correct?
2 boys, 2 girls, Aroostook County, and missed the playoffs last year.
Okay. I am going to go with the Camden girls. I think they are going to have a very good season. I think they return a lot of talent, and I'll lock them in Class A this year, and shaking up Class A, so I'm interested to see what that looks like, but I think they've played together, and they've got a, can't count them out attitude.
Yeah, that's a good pick. What do you guys think of the new A and B? Since I haven't gotten you on camera since the new classifications come out.
I think it's going to be fun. I do see where like the smaller A schools kind of feel slighted, like the Brewers and them. But I like shaking it up. Like the 5-class system, the way it was. There were a lot of blowouts. There were a lot of playoff games that weren't really close. But we also had a lot of really, really good playoff games. So I like shaking it up, and I think the people that are doing this, I like to think that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's grown on me. I think I do think I think the bigger thing that I'm a fan of is that they got rid of the drop down rule where you could drop down if you didn't win enough games. I hated that. I thought that was just an easy way out if your program wasn't doing well. So I'm happy with that, and so I guess I'm happy with it overall.
I thought the relegation worked for some teams, and I think it just could have been done better. Like, it worked really well for like the Wiscasset girls and the Wiscasset boys and some programs like that were really, really struggling. But everyone in the state knew that Noble was going to be good, that they had to bounce back 2 years ahead of them, and that Biddeford was going to be pretty good. And you could just go, well, maybe we just don't drop them down. Just leave them where they are, and they'll be fine.
Every for the Class S story I did a few weeks ago that I showed you, Lucas, a bunch of coaches were super happy that rule is gone.
Oh, interesting. All right, Mike, I think you have 2 picks now.
All right, so I believe that the PVHS girls were conceded, so I'm going to take them. They have the bulk of their team back. Again, go to Class D. Nate Case is the best coach at the state when it comes to understanding his team, knowing what they're good at and what their strengths are, and they're going to find a way no matter what. Now, and they're one of those teams that now that they finally broke through and got that gold ball, I could see them putting a couple more in the trophy case. And then I'm gonna go and dip into my miss the tournament team, and I'm gonna pick a team that won 1 game last year, the Skowhegan boys.
Interesting.
They went 7-2 in summer league play at Coney. They have a new coach, Isaac Witham, who's kind of energized them, and I think they fit the bill.
I like that as a miss the playoffs pick. That's really good. See, look at him. He's doing the summer work. He's getting in the gym when it's 90 degrees out, and he's doing the scouting. This
is where I'm behind the 8 ball. I haven't watched a minute of basketball live since last tournament.
Yeah, it's a little tricky if you come into this late, but we'll all do our best. All right, you are up. I'm so jealous of the Penobscot Valley girls pick because I wanted them back up from my team last year because that was just, it's just a wins machine.
Yeah, they're going to be a wagon.
All right, Tyler, you're up.
I'm going to go with my miss the tournament pick, and I'm going to go with a team just based on the fact that they are Most of them are now a year older. They've played together for a couple of seasons in a couple of sports. And I'm going to go with Foxcroft Academy. They were a 10 seed last year. They kind of barely missed that, the quarterfinal round, which is what I'm guessing we mean by miss the playoffs. They missed the tournament.
More or less, yeah.
And I think the Ponies are in for a bounce back year.
Are you picking the boys or the girls?
The boys, yes.
Okay, because the girls are on my list for a miss the tournament team.
I'll pick the girls then. I'll steal them off of your list. Thanks for giving me that information.
All right. And I think the girls didn't make the prelim round at all. So that's a purer pick.
Okay, cool. We'll keep it with some integrity too. I'll go with that.
Okay. So now we have Adam's pick. What do we think? So he needs a boys team, 2 girls team, and a miss the playoffs team. What we could do, so A South is brutal for girls. It's got Biddeford, it's got South Portland, it's got Cheverus, and it's got maybe 3 of the best teams in the state, but I don't know how many wins are going to be there because they're all going to beat up on each other all year. So we could give him one of those teams, which is a really good team, but there might not be the wins that you might find in like a Class C or something like that.
What about like South Portland?
We could give them South Portland, defending champs.
And I think, don't they have like 11 of their 13 players back or something?
They do have something like that. Yeah, their best player was a sophomore last year.
Yeah,
and she was just great. So that's a good pick for him. All right, so now I have 2 picks. Okay, so I'm not gonna pick both of these teams, but I think 2 of the sure moves on the board are Spruce Mountain Boys and Spruce Mountain Girls.
It's a good pick.
I think both of these teams would compete in B and would be just fine. They would probably, someone's gonna contradict me. I think they would both be top 4 teams in B, and they're down in C, and I think they're just going to destroy people. But I'm not going to take them both because that's no fun.
I'm putting together. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you're doing a thing on them?
Well, no. I was just saying I'm putting together the Central Maine and Sun Journal previews right now, and one thing I'm going to write about is that I think the 2 biggest winners in the reclassification are the Valley Boys and the Valley Girls, and the Spruce Mountain Boys and the Spruce Mountain Girls, especially that girls team for Spruce Mountain.
That's where I'm leaning. I think I'm going to take Zach Keene's girls team. They've had the most success in B, so that seems like a safer bet, but I feel like they could both go 17-1. 18-0, something like that. So I would have gladly taken the boys if someone had beaten me to the girls. So let's put in Spruce Girls. And so now I have another pick. Okay, I'm going to take my miss the playoff team. I'm going to take the Greenville Boys. They have won the best logo in the state. So there's that. And then they missed the playoffs last year. They're down in the under S class. So that's an attractive feature. And in the preseason poll, they showed up 3rd. So I don't know if that means anything because it's just maybe just Greenville fans saying, no, really, we're going to be good this year. But I don't love any of my other options, especially since Tyler took the Foxcroft Girls.
Thank you.
So I'm going to go with the Greenville Boys, and I'm going to ride that logo all the way to, let's say, 12 wins.
I like
Something
it.
like that.
It's hopeful.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's hopeful.
You might get some free swag out of it too.
So they haven't made these shirts with the logo. So I'm thinking I'm just going to make my own. I'm just going to do a one-off on a Printly or something like that, and I'm just going to start wearing it. And if someone
what if they cease and desist you? Well, they wait the game with the letter.
I'll cease and desist then, but I'll still have the shirt.
That's true.
I'll just not wear it on camera. I'll wear it to Hannaford. All right, so I think we have Adam now. Yeah, right? Yeah. Okay. So he needs a miss the playoff team, a boys team, and a girls team. And I don't know, what did we have left on our miss the playoffs? Because we've all picked that. Did you guys have any teams left on your picks?
No, I've kind of been frantically searching.
Okay.
Like I said, I was kind of up the up the creek without a paddle if somebody picks Skowhegan. So I was kind of I think
I almost had Massabesic down because the freshman whose name has left me went to their middle school, but I guess he's going to actually Chevrolet. So that was a potential one. I was like, okay, maybe there's something there, but I don't feel great about that.
Now, when we say miss the tournament, do we mean miss the entire tournament or didn't get to like the cross center or whatever?
We generally mean missed the entire tournament because then someone could probably game it and be like, well, they were the 3 seed and they lost the prelim.
Yeah.
And then that would be a really good pick.
I was going to I had a suggestion, but if that's the case, then we're not.
Okay. Well, what was the suggestion?
The Marana Cook boys, I think they went 8-11 last year, lost the prelim to Winslow, and they have 2 of the best freshmen in the state, and they have Jack Fontaine back, and they're in Class C, so it's setting up them to possibly double that win total.
We could allow it. So they were what, the 10? Were they the final prelim?
Did they lose the? I forget. Did they lose the 10? I forget if they lost the 7-10 or not. I'm pulling it up here. They were the 12 seed.
Wow.
They lost to Winslow, so they were the last team in.
So we could allow that if we wanted to. What were they in B North? Were they in B North last year?
Yeah, they go from B. They and Winslow both go from B North to C South.
Okay. We could do it. The other team I was looking at is the Booth Bay girls, who apparently have some freshmen coming in, but I don't know if those freshmen are any good. I just heard they have some tall freshman girls. I mean, we could give Adam Marana Cook.
Yeah, it depends how honest you want to be. Marana Cook's probably going to be probably a better bet, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Booth Bay.
Maybe
is
Booth
it
Bay.
Another Blethen? Is it another Blethen kid?
I don't believe it's another Blethen kid.
I was going to say, if it's one of them, then they'd be really good.
Yeah, geez. Yeah, we could give him the Marana Cook boys. And then he'll owe us.
Yeah.
All right, so Marana Cook boys. See, we're cruising right through these. We're 20 minutes in, and we've got like 4 picks left.
Nice.
All right. So who's next?
I think I'm next.
You're next, yeah.
Tyler, and then me.
Yes, and do I need both boys' picks, correct? And my county pick?
You need a boys pick, a girls pick, and a county pick.
A boys pick, a girls pick, and a county pick. Okay. I'm going to go with my county pick right now. I'm going to go with my boys pick right now, and I'm going to go with Mackinac Cook Academy. They were just a plethora of sophomores last year, and they kind of ran the table in Class C. And that's going to be my boys pick because they're returning basically everybody because they were all in 10th grade.
Wow, yeah, that's a good pick.
Cooper McCarthy and True Weatherby, both guys that were kind of key to that team last year, were both sophomores.
I like it. Boy, there's so many good teams left on the board too.
Yeah, there are. I was stuck there for a second between that and what else I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Go through honorable mention round here. All right, Mike, you are up. You have boys, girls, and Aroostook County.
Okay, I'm going to do Aroostook County, and that's going to be the Caribou boys. They haven't been picked, have they?
No, they have not.
Okay. They return a bunch of guys, and they go from B to C. I think they feast in that class. And do I have another one?
Yeah, you have 2 picks in a row.
Okay. What else do I need?
You need boys and girls.
1 boys, 1 girls. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with the Mount Abram boys.
Okay.
I think people are focusing a lot on what they lost. Killian Pillsbury, Brendan Mitchell, Chase Ross. They have 3 of their 5 starters back, including both guards. I could see them. They're not going to be as deep as last year, but I think in the Class D, it's going to be them and Monmouth. And I think they're going to win a lot of games, including in the tournament.
Yeah, I like the strategy of a team that was competitive in the higher level, dropping down a level, and still having most of their pieces.
Yep,
that seems like a good move. All right, Tyler, you've got girls and the county.
I'm going to go with my county pick and a kid who I think is sneaky, one of the best players in the state at 14 years old. Stop me if you've heard best player in the state at 14, but I'm going with Quinn Pelletier and the Madawaska boys. I think they are a team to reckon with. He had like 30-something points in that regional finals game against
He's a
Mackinac
wagon.
Cook Academy. Nobody could guard him, and he was in 8th grade last year. So that's a kid that's going to be fun to watch. If they come south, I'm going to try and get to one of the games. I'm definitely might not make it up there, but if anyone can make it up there, that is going to be a team to watch.
That was going to be my county pick.
Nice. I actually stole a good pick from you. I didn't ask you for it.
Yeah. My nephew, I think, had to guard him this summer at a thing, and he said it did not go well.
It didn't go well for most people that I watched guard him in the playoffs last year, and that was my first time watching him.
Yeah, that's a fantastic. But people keep saying this is the best freshman class, and I think a lot of times we forget that he's one of them because he was there last year. But yeah, there's just a ton of freshmen and a ton of freshmen that haven't been taken yet, which is crazy. All right, so we have Adam's pick. He has boys and girls.
I'll give him the Ellsworth boys because I wanted to take him.
There you
Top
go.
seed last year in Class B North, but they're also bringing in Colby Eaton from George Stevens as a school choice transfer. So they're going to have him with Jackson Barry and Dawson Curtis. That's going to be 3 players to reckon with in the starting lineup.
And Ellsworth is interesting because they did lose quite a bit, but I think the other teams lost more in their class.
Yeah, they lost so many seniors, but they also had 2 juniors that played a lot, and now they're bringing in Eaton too, who was really the go-to guy at GSA last year.
Yep, that's probably a 13-14 win team.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah, and the kid at GSA, I think he had like a couple buzzer beaters last year, didn't he?
He's good.
Yeah. Okay, so now I have 2 picks. Oh, I have so many options. Okay. So I have boys and I have Aroostook County. Wow, okay. Aroostook County, I'm going to go with the Wisdom Girls. I had them last year. I think they went 17-1, something like that. They seem to do that pretty much every year. So minus some great information, that seems like a pretty safe pick, although that didn't work out well for Southern Aroostook last year.
They did lose Ava Lerman. I think it's Ava Lerman, but she was a senior, and she was really like the offense ran through her. The other players are very good supporting members, but they lost on a small roster, the one player that kind of made the, she was the straw that stirred the drink.
Maybe I'll rethink this pick if that's allowed.
I don't want to talk you out of it and have them go like 15-2.
You know what? I have an idea. Okay, I'm going to pivot to the Fort Kent boys.
Oh, that's a good one.
They have Jeffers, right? Jeffers is the kid they have.
Jeffers is good.
He's a bit of a stud, and they're down. Are they down in D? I have it.
I'm not sure.
I have it over on my computer somewhere here. One of the 1,800 windows on my computer has that information on it. Let me scroll down. They are in D North. No, they're not. They're in C North. They're in the preseason poll. They were 3rd in the preseason poll. So that's a solid pick.
Yeah, I think Jeffers was one of he made my all-tournament team last year. He was one of the guys that I left saying like, whoa, I mean, these kids from the county are really good. Him and Pelletier were 2 kids that really stood out last year.
Those county boys, man, all they do is they pick potatoes and they shoot baskets. That's it. That's the
what
whole
are they
day.
feeding them? They're huge too.
It's potatoes. It's the potatoes and the corn and the, I don't know, moose. Something. All right, so then I have boys. Okay, so there's a lot of teams on the board. Boy. The Brewer boys are out there with Ollie Higgins. The Caribou boys are out there.
No, they're not.
They're not? Oh, you took the Caribou. You took the Caribou boys, right? Okay. There's all of the Class A South teams. There's York.
Yeah, Wyndham's still out there too. They were a team that was really good last year.
I think I'm gonna go with Wyndham. They're going for.
I almost had him as my keeper.
Yeah, I wondered if you would do that, but you had to keep. Well, you had the Ellsworth girls, yeah.
They're good.
They're gonna have. If you talk to people about Mr. Basketball, it's Nolan Ames, it's Tyree James, and it's AJ. Oh my gosh, the name, it blanked on me. The AJ kid, who's got more shoes than anybody, than a shoe store. This kid wore like 4 different pairs of shoes during the tournament last year. It was great. But they've got a really good team. They've got some youth. They've got an excellent coaching staff. And yeah, I think that's a pretty solid pick. It'd be fun to see if they can three-peat. And when was the last time someone three-peated in like the highest class?
Yeah, I was going to say Southern Roasted Girls, but yeah, I can't think of anything in like Class A.
Yeah, I can't think of anything in A or B. Okay. So Adam's up next. He's got a girls pick.
So it's tough because I also have a girls pick. So I have a team in mind, and I'm not going to give it to him. I think the Matanoka girls returned some talent, but did they stay in C? That's a pretty stacked Class C with Dexter and now Caribou. They did lose Penobscot Valley as an opponent. Probably still play them because they're close to each other. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they play.
Thinking out loud.
There's them. There's where's Matt Knockcook? There's the other teams in A South, but you don't want to have him like going against himself. There's Matt Knockcook is in C.
What about the Bangor Christian girls? The Allen sisters transferred there.
They're going to get the Allen sisters, yeah.
They were a team that I think made the semifinals or the finals last year, lost to Skank.
Mm-hmm. That's a very
and
good
they're bringing
pick.
in Mary Allen, who could be one of the better senior guards in the state.
Yeah. There's them. There's the Oceanside girls. There's
the younger Breen back there?
The younger Breen is there.
She is there, yeah.
She's good.
She's very good. There's some options. Yeah, we could give him Matt Knockcook. We could give him.
How much is he really coaching right now? Can we call him?
It's a game. It would be hilarious if we called him mid-game. Like, hey, so we've got you down to these 3 teams. Or we were thinking maybe Cape Elizabeth. We're not sure. We have some ideas. I already took the Spruce Mountain girls. There's the Halldale girls. There's Central Aroostook. There's
give him Wiscasset.
Mount Abram. Jonesport Beals might be good this year. Wisdom, Forest Hills. He does have a Jackman hat that he got at the tournament, so we could give him the Forest Hills girls.
I have that hat somewhere too.
Do you really?
Yeah, they gave him. We were sitting next to each other. This guy was walking around with a trash bag full of hats.
Nice. We could give him the Forest Hills girls.
Where were they picked?
They were. I think they were second behind Valley.
Oh, give it to them. Yeah.
All right, we'll give them the Forest Hills girls.
They don't play Valley every game.
Okay. Where does that leave us? Tyler, you're up.
I think I'm going to go with a school that I believe got moved to S this year, and they were just very impressive last year in the Northern Maine tournament. I have a very Northern Maine bias because that's really all I kind of know.
Sure.
And that's Central Aroostook. Their 3 best players were all sophomores in that Northern Maine tournament. They won the tournament as, I think, 5 seed or something like. No, they were the 2 seed.
Central Aroostook is staying in Class D.
They're staying in Class D this year. So I'm going to roll with I'll go with Central Aroostook since we don't count playoffs. So I'm not really afraid of them playing Penobscot Valley.
Well, we do count playoffs. You get extra points for the playoffs.
Extra points for the playoffs. I'll still go with Central Aroostook.
It's still points. Yeah, they'll still get.
They're going to play. They're going to probably play a mainly Class S schedule because a lot of their opponents from last year moved down to Class S. So and it's regionally based once you get up there.
Yep.
I'll go with Central Aroostook. Rounds out my. That'll round out my squad. I'm happy with my squad.
I think you've got a good squad, considering you don't even work in media now.
No, I'm happy with the Ellsworth pick. I think Sydney Mason, Lizzie Bowles in the backcourt are going to be very good. I think people are going to count them out because they lost seniors, but I think they're going to surprise some people in B.
I think that's safe. Yeah, I think that's a good call. All right, Mike, you've got 1 pick left.
Remind me which one it is.
Girls number 2.
Oh, boy. Has anyone picked Cheverus girls yet?
No one has taken the Cheverus girls.
Don't they have Lamson back? I'm pretty sure they have Lamson back and most of their girls. So I think they're they're in for a strong year.
Okay. The Cheverus girls. So some teams that didn't get taken: Oceanside girls, Biddeford girls, who I don't think graduated anybody from that team. We mentioned some of the other girls ones when we were looking for Adam's pick. Some boys teams: York. The Spruce Mountain boys didn't get taken, right? No. A lot of teams out there. Brewer didn't get taken. Gardner didn't get taken. Mike, I thought you were taking Gardner for sure.
I think Gardner's going to win a lot of games. I think the other teams are slated to win more games.
No one took Coney. I was leaning towards Coney for a while. The Parker Morin football revenge tour, perhaps, could be in play.
They have plus Brathwaite. Plus they got Jackson K from Oceanside.
They did get Jackson K from Oceanside.
Yep.
Oceanside did really well in the preseason poll, and I think maybe people don't know how much they lost in the portal, as it were.
Are these preseason coaches polls or like media polls?
No, it was just random people. I just put on Facebook, so it was like 200 votes for the boys and like 180 votes for the girls, because I thought, I'm going to spend so much time wrangling these coaches, and I'm going to get like 50% participation rate. Or I could just open it up to everybody, because all I really want to do is a podcast where we list them out and talk about how much we disagree with them. Yeah, so I was like, this is fine. Just get people. All right, since we got a little bit of time here, what's a pick you would have taken if it had been best team, but maybe not most wins? So maybe a team that's like in a tough region or something like that, or maybe just a team that you were like, I wanted to take them, and then I just I already took my two boys teams, and I forgot I wanted to take these guys.
Probably South Portland girls.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could be the best team in the state, but could lose 4 or 5 games just because the region's that tough.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed away from A boys, because I think that's going to be a gauntlet of a region as well. I think you've got a lot of individual talent there, a lot of star power with Ollie Higgins and Nolan Ames and the teams around them. But I do think they're going to be a team that just the top is going to butt heads all year long. And I think the number one team might have 12 wins,
Yeah, I could see like the 1 seed being 14-4 and like Brewer being 13-5 or 12-6, something like that. And just like, but those 6 losses are by a combined 15 points. Something crazy like that.
The other one for me was the Erskine girls. They they won 16 games. Yeah. They return every player, but you throw Coney and Lawrence into that region now. It gets tougher. Mm-hmm. I think they could be a better team, but lose the same amount of games or more, even if they're improved. I do think they're a very good team, though, and I think they're still mostly juniors, so they should be good next year too.
Yeah, they're pretty young.
And I think when you look at
entertaining.
I think when you look at B boys too, I think oh wow, I had a team right there. I think Orono's a team that is always in the mix as well, and they're returning Brady Hughes, they're returning Bergen Soderberg. People look at Will Francis leaving, but they've got Matt Allen as well, who's a tremendous athlete. They've got athletes out there, and Ed Catala is going to have him in every game.
Yeah, I was looking at the Biddeford girls, didn't lose anybody. Should have won that state championship game, but they're back up at the highest class now. And not that I don't think they can compete there, but I just think, like you said, Mike, that's going to be just a ridiculously hard region. I mean, Mount Ararat and the preseason poll was like 5th, and they're the defending state champions.
I think one good thing about this reclassification, and one reason that I hated it at first, but it's since grown on me, and I actually think I'm going to grow to come liking it, is I think that top class now gets a little bit better. I just didn't think. I don't know, the double A thing to me. It was great to get a class with the big schools, but it just didn't have the same tournament feel to it because of the way the regions worked. And I think this is going to make Class A like a true, just give it even more of like the proper tournament feel. That maybe it didn't, that maybe it was missing a little bit compared to the other classes, which isn't fair because it's the biggest class and those are the teams with the most fans and the most students and the biggest alumni bases. So I think it's going to be good for them.
I mean, you had teams going directly to the semifinals in the biggest class in the state, which is just stupid.
That's what I'm talking about. That was terrible. And I'm glad we've kind of shaken it up a little bit. I think with any class system, there are going to be winners or losers. I know a lot of the C North teams are not happy with Caribou in their class. I know you mentioned some of the teams at the bottom of A North. Those teams are probably upset, but I think you've got to organize it. You've got to organize it some way, and you can't placate everybody.
Yeah. I think what'll be really interesting is the last 2 weeks of the season. If you imagine just how chaotic the heel points get, and then just add the 15 biggest schools in the state to that, and that's going to be
snow days
so much.
too.
And snow days, that'll be so much more fun because those AA schools were already in the playoffs in like December. They knew they were making the playoffs, so all they were really playing for was seeding.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of dealt that. We kind of dealt with that with football a little bit. I know, like in Class C, with it being statewide, some of the coaches were like, "All right, well, we actually have to we actually might not make it now, so we actually these games mean a lot more than they used to." So,
and that was so much fun.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all at first, but kind of like this, but it worked. So we'll see.
Then maybe this is going to be great because Class C went awesome in football. So
that worked out. That worked out great.
So the trick is to find a plan that Mike Mandell doesn't like at first, but it grows on him.
Yeah,
that's the pattern.
For sure.
I think when you have change like this, everybody's going to be resistant to it. There are going to be people that don't want it. But like I said earlier, I think the people making these decisions, A, want the best, and B, know what they're doing, and they're doing it in the best interest. So I think the best thing to do is kind of just trust it and see where it goes.
I think with Class S too, I know there was a concern like, okay, because you're shifting Class A and you're still going to have C and D for the cross center. Let's take the Civic Center for example. All right, you're still going to have A North boys and girls, and you're still going to have C South and D South boys and girls. So that's 6 tournaments. Now you're adding Class S to that. That's 2 more tournaments because you have S boys, and S girls. I think some of those S schools were worried about that they would be sent somewhere else than the Civic Center, which they ended up starting the tournament early, just starting the tournament a bit earlier to placate that, because I think that would have been a big bummer if those small schools didn't get the same Civic Center, Cross Insurance Center feel that they deserve just as much as the bigger schools. I think by moving that first Tuesday, Wednesday, ideally it would be Saturday. Absolutely. I know playing that Saturday game is a tradition for places like Valley and Forest Hills and all that, but it's better than sending them to like some gym somewhere or having them play at the home site rather than getting the quarterfinal game.
Yeah, they're not playing at KVCC or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Or they're like at Coney's gym for some reason to play that
Temple
game.
Temple Academy won't play a single home game this year. I think they're going to split between KVCC and Thomas.
That's because their gym is like under construction or something, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's always fun.
Yeah, so they're practicing.
Gardner had that a couple years ago.
They're practicing at a church like 2 streets down from where I live.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so let's recap this. Do you guys want to read out your teams? Did you write them down, or do you want me to read them?
I did not, so that'd be great if you could.
I did not. Yeah, I'm going right off the dome here.
All right, so let's start with Adam. Adam has his keepers, the Katahdin boys. He has the Edward Little boys. He has the Ellsworth boys. He has the South Portland girls, the Forest Hills girls. And then for the county team, he has Southern Aroostook girls, and he has, for his missed the playoff team, we gifted him the Maranacook boys. And I think we should reserve the right to take that back if it goes well for him, and he's winning. Tyler, you had for your keeper the Ellsworth girls, which will be very helpful in you not getting in trouble at work. For boys, you had the Bangor Christian boys, you had the Mattinacook boys, you had the Camden girls, the Central Aroostook girls. For your county team, you had the Madawaska boys and Quinn Pelletier. And for your play-in or miss the playoffs, you had the Foxcroft Academy girls. That's a
thank you for that pick, by the way, because it was the boys, but then you asked, and yeah,
I'm here to help.
You not only did you ask, but you gave me the information that I needed to make an informed decision.
But that could blow up on you and be the wrong decision. So we'll
It
find
really
out.
could, but then it's your fault.
Yeah. So this is the fun of gambling at this thing. Mike, you had for your keeper the Valley Girls, which that's really the easiest pick of the day, I think. So that's a good one. Then you doubled down with the Valley Boys. You have the Mount Abram Boys, the Penobscot Valley Girls. Damn it. The Chevrolet Girls. For the county, you have the Caribou Boys, and you have for your missed the playoffs the Skowhegan Boys, which I'm very impressed with that pick because I glossed right over them, and I was like, nah. But I think that might work out for you. And then for me, I had for my keeper, I had the Madomic Valley Boys. I had the Camden Boys and Nolan Ames. I had the Wyndham Boys going for the three-peat. I have the Matty Provost Show and the Lawrence Girls. I have the Spruce Mountain Girls. For the county, I have the Fort Kent Boys. And then for miss the playoffs, I have the Greenville Boys and the best logo in the state of Maine. And there we go.
I like it.
Yeah, me too.
We'll see.
I'm excited for basketball season.
It's going to be fun. Are you going to go to the tournament anyway, Tyler?
I probably will, yeah.
You've still got your badge, right?
Yeah, and they give me a camera too, so I can probably work. Actually, there wouldn't be quotation marks there. I'd actually be filming the game for school purposes.
For school. There you go. There you go.
You're not. You got to go to the tournament.
Yeah,
exactly. And I have like 7 media passes too.
Yeah,
I think I have 4.
They're all on top of the fridge.
I have a number of them because every year I forget one for one day of the tournament.
Well, that's what happened. That's the same with me.
Yeah, and then some years they give me a new one, and some years they're like, "Yeah, just go." We've been looking at you all week. We know who you are.
Yeah,
I would go without one for the first day of the tournament because they'd sign in and get the new one.
Oh, that's a good move. Yeah, at the football game on Saturday, I walked down to the field. I put my press pass in my bag because everything was over, and I went down on the field and they stopped me, and I'm like, really? I'm just going over. I just want to talk to this guy right here. I'll be gone in a minute.
I've never seen them stop outside of the tournament. Never seen them stop anybody for a pass.
No, yeah, I don't think I've ever been stopped. But
I've always had a pass though.
That's true. All right, so Tyler, are you just doing the radio?
Yes.
Okay, where can people listen to you on the radio?
So Wednesday, Thursday mornings, not this Thursday, obviously.
Sure.
6 to 8 a.m., 92.9 The Ticket. That's 92.9 FM if you're in the northern Maine area, or 92.9theticket.com if you are not in the northern Maine area. By northern Maine, I mean like north of Waterville. I think we probably cut off if you keep going north.
Are they going to add you to the Ticket TV coverage for the games?
I did a few of the soccer and football games in the fall.
Okay. Very
cool.
I'm
hoping that if they put me on the basketball games in the winter, it's the ones that they do in Ellsworth.
Yeah.
Driving gets a little bit tougher.
Yeah. All right, Mike, what have you got coming out for Varsity Maine? I know you're just churning out stuff.
Yeah, so I'll have a look at like the new Class B North. You got Coney, Lawrence, Gardner, Nokomis going from Class A, which obviously means they go from playing in Augusta to playing in Bangor.
They're thrilled, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised. I think for Nokomis, it's closer now.
Okay.
For Lawrence, I was talking to Greg Chesley, their girls coach, and he was like, "Well, I grew up playing at the auditorium, so going back to Bangor is fine for me." I think Gardner and Augusta are the ones that aren't because they're right next to the Civic Center. But it's like, really, I mean, especially Coney, you drive like right across town, and so you're going to Bangor now. But so I'll have a little feature on that probably later in the week, maybe Friday or Saturday. Next week is when our previews are going to come out. I think we'll do girls first and boys second. I'm interested too because there's going to be a scrimmage between, and I think I texted you about this, between the Valley girls enrollment of 63.
Oh yeah, you did.
And the Bangor girls enrollment 1,069.
Nice.
Which that I believe is next Tuesday, which should be fun. And a few days later than that, we're getting into games. So.
Yeah. I have noticed that no one is actually tipping off on Black Friday, it looks like. I haven't seen a schedule with a Black Friday game on it because they can go on Black Friday, but they seem to all be going on that Tuesday.
Yes, I think it's just easier to get I know there's some preseason tournaments on Saturdays and stuff, but
Mhm.
I think starting
I
next
think
week is probably the right move.
Yeah, I'm going to go. This might come out on Monday, so this might have already happened. But I think I'm going to go to the South Portland tip-off because that's
Okay.
got a ton of teams in it, like really good teams. Like Wyndham's in there, Camden's in there, Madomic, South Portland, obviously, a bunch of Southern Maine, like Cheverus,
Yeah.
teams like that.
I am off until Monday.
Nice.
It's much needed.
Yeah.
Well, I'll resume high school basketball stuff.
Yeah, this compressed football, basketball, starting early schedule
it
is
stinks, dude. It's we had the same thing last year, and it was a crunch.
And in the spring, you'll have like 3 weeks of nothing in between basketball and baseball.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So for this podcast, Steve Carmichael and Dylan Rothkopf will be here to do the Mr. and Miss Basketball Draft. That's going to be a new thing where I think Nolan Ames is going first or second, something like that. But that should be interesting to see how many of the players we can get that are at least semifinalists for Mr. Basketball or Miss Basketball. So I have some Northern Maine bias in Steve. I have some Southern Maine bias in Dylan, who runs Blue Wave. And then I have my just normal Mid-Coast bias, which just means Nolan Ames. So that
which isn't really a bias at all. It's just a fact.
It's not really much of a bias. I was just in on it early. So there's that. All right. Thanks, guys. This has been great.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is and we'll hopefully see you on a court somewhere.
You absolutely will.
Yeah, have a safe winter, guys, and enjoy the season.
All right, we will. Okay, that's the show. Thanks to Mike. Thanks to Tyler. No thanks at all to Adam for not showing up. I did see him at South Portland for the Wyndham Edward Little game and Game and Grief. So there you go. Yeah, so up next in this feed, you're going to have the Mr. Miss Basketball Draft. Dylan Rothkopf and Steve Carmichael are doing that with me. So make sure you subscribe so you get that in your feed. And that'll do it. This has been a production of MaineBasketballRankings.com, your source for the most comprehensive coverage of Maine high school basketball from Ashland to York, or from Madawaska to York, and everywhere in between. This podcast is available wherever you listen to podcasts and a bunch of places you don't. If you enjoy this, please leave a nice review because it really does help out with algorithms. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Thanks for listening, and thank you to Vertical Rays.